guys, how are you all doing today? We are really doing okay, and it's a fantastic morning to shoot this video because recently and yesterday Samsung had unveiled one of its greatest event called the Unpacked event that had seen the Samsung S series launch. Now we are doing something for the first time that we've not done before, which is actually kind of reviewing and analyzing gadgets. To do the honors, we have with us Prabhat Prakash, a tech reviewer and a tech junkie who is going to acquaint us with the S series journey. So Prabhat, were you awake yesterday night to watch the show?
Yeah, I was absolutely awake watching the show and I was looking at what Samsung had unveiled last night.
Right. So even I was awake yesterday watching the entire show.
Are you sure you were awake last night?
Okay, you caught me there. Yeah, okay, I dozed off a little, but then Prabhat, I have kept every detail of the launch, for which you can't really fool me. So if there's anything wrong in the technicalities, I'm going to catch him right away. Beginning with the Prabhat, so you would see that this is the 11th phone that's launched in the S series of Samsung. So we haven't really seen an S11 come up. So we had S10 and after that we have S20. Does this mean that the phone's performance is going to increase by around 10 times?
Well, that is a question that will be answered with time. But talking about naming it, instead of naming it S11, S20 is for the mere fact it's the start of a new decade. So Samsung has implemented a very good marketing strategy. So henceforth, all their phones will be named after the year. So 2020, S20, 21, 20, 2021, the S21, and so on and so forth. So this is a very good way of marketing their products as per the year. So it's a good choice that Samsung has made with naming the devices this year.
Right, so that's really interesting, right? And a good prediction. So now that you've mentioned about the different types of phones, could you also tell us how Samsung has been performing in the last 1 year?
Well, when it comes to the flagship market, Samsung rules the roost. They have about 25% market share globally, and the S series and the Note series have been very successful in the market. So there is no other OEM that can challenge Samsung in this department, and they are the best Android providers so far.
Right. Okay, so Prabhat, just last month there was this Lite series that Samsung had been launching, and a lot has been talked about that as well. So could you acquaint us a little about it?
Yeah, so the thing is, like, Samsung rules the roost, as I have already mentioned to you before we started this conversation, that Samsung is a market leader when it comes to flagship devices. They were ruling the market when it came to entry-level products as well. But now Chinese OEMs have taken over that, and Samsung has prioritized their work more towards flagship devices and the feature devices that they're offering. So that is the priority as of now. I feel that way. But there is one interesting market that Samsung has never tapped into. That's the mid-range or the flagship killer range, which is dominated by OnePlus. Then there's Xiaomi, there's Realme, and then the sub-brand of Xiaomi called Redmi is dominating that market. So Samsung, to get a hold of that market share, came up with the Lite series. So it's a flagship offering that they have, but with they are trying to reduce some of the features that may not be required on those devices. So it's basically like a flagship device, but not premium. The internals may be the same and all of that, but then they will be devoid of your Quad HD display, or the make of it. Instead of using metal or glass, they would stick to plastic kind of thing. So that is how the Lite series existence is, to take on the flagship killer market. So let's see how Samsung fares there as well, because it's a new venture for Samsung in itself to try and take on that market, because OnePlus is already an established player in that market. Redmi has caught up with it. The Realme is there and is doing quite well. So let's see how Samsung does there in that market space.
We're just open to high speculations and expectations.
Yeah, let's see how Samsung fares in the next 1 year or so.
Coming to the main part of doing the video today, can you tell us about the price and specifications of Samsung S20, S20 Plus and S20 Ultra, please?
Okay, so the S20 starts at $999, the S20 Plus starts at $1,199, and the S20 Ultra is $1,399.
Right, could you get into details regarding the same?
Well, this is an annual upgrade, so the US market will have the Snapdragon 865, that is the latest Qualcomm offering. And the Asian market so far, I think, will receive the Exynos in-house Samsung processor. And yeah, the refresh rate of the screen, everybody is gaga over it. We were at 60 Hertz, then we went to 90 Hertz. There are brands that offer 240 Hertz as well, but Samsung is sticking to 120 Hertz as of now. So the offering is 60 Hertz or 120 Hertz in the devices. And then we can also talk about the camera setup, which the best one being from the S20 Ultra and the S20 Plus. The S20 is like like a ripped off version of the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra.
Right, that's pretty interesting and enigmatic also.
Yeah, because they also are offering about 16 GB of RAM. That's more than, like, a lot of us using computers, the RAM of a computers. And the other thing is the camera is interesting because the S20 Ultra has a 108 megapixel camera, wherein you can also shoot 8K videos on the Ultra as well as the Plus. So, and once that 8K video has been shot, you can also go ahead and click a photograph, taking a screenshot, and you get an image that is about 32 megapixels as per Samsung claims.
Right, coming to the next perspective and a great expectation from the Samsung S series, can you talk a little about Samsung Flip?
Yeah, absolutely. The foldable market is still a market that needs to be explored. People are choosing it because Samsung Galaxy Fold, which was the first foldable phone available in the market, had to be recalled because there were some flaws which Samsung had to iron out. So they had to delay the delivery of the product as well. And then 5 months later, they went ahead and made it commercially available. Then came Motorola. Motorola came with the Moto Razr Z. Now that is available. In a few days, it will be commercially available. And I think the Flip Z is a take of Samsung on Motorola, trying to capture that market. So Motorola phones, so far the reviews have been mixed. Samsung has tried to iron out the flaws that they incurred with the Fold. So let's see what happens. It's an interesting take. Let's see how many OEMs come up with foldable phones. There is Huawei as well that is offering a fold phone, like a folding phone. So let's see. And the Flip Z so far looks interesting, but time will tell like how good of a offering Samsung has.
Oh well, yes, surely we can only hope for better and better phones in the near future. Could you also enlighten us about Earbuds Plus?
The Earbuds Plus is basically another upgrade from the Galaxy Buds. It just has increased the battery capacity, added one more microphone, but there's still no active noise cancellation as such.
Well, this I think is a little concerning because noise cancellation is of utmost priority, don't you think so?
That depends user to user, but then if you have to, like, from the brands that are offering active noise cancellation, the prices are very high. If you look at Bose or like a Sony or like a Jabra offering active noise cancellation, the products are priced at a particular, in a particular bracket. Here Samsung has beaten that by not providing active noise cancellation, and they've managed to cut down on prices that way. It's about $149 as of now as per Samsung's unveiling. Let's see when it comes to India.
But don't you think it's a little disturbing because so probably if you're listening to some fine-tuning music and there's someone knocking at you, so would you like to be bugged that way?
Absolutely not, but then there are other offerings as well. Samsung is not asking, you can, other devices or other brands that offer these active noise cancellation devices, they're compatible with your Samsung phones. So you have a choice in the market. It's not that if you buy a Samsung phone or if you buy a S20, S20 Plus or Ultra or even a Flip Z, that you have to use Samsung Buds Plus. So that's there. And the market is open for them. So let's see what happens. It's an interesting year. This is the start of the year. And Samsung has an interesting offering. Let's see how other OEMs catch up with Samsung.
It was really nice talking to you, Prabhat, and thank you so much for joining us today at the studio and giving us your valuable inputs. We hope you liked the video, and in case you did, don't forget to like, comment and share. Bye-bye.
Bye.